because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his.
Because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult because of his style, because of his ability, because of his eyes, because of his legs, that his hands speed the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only man I see who could potentially decipher that style and beat. Steven boxing professionals have reacted to the announcement of the match between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Following his stunning knockout of Frank Martin to retain the WBA title, Davis quickly initiated preliminary discussions with IBF champion Vasyl Lomachenko. But the Ukrainian later withdrew, citing a lack of motivation to step into the ring again this year. Enter Stevenson, fresh from a contentious yet decisive defense of his WBC title against Aram Haranian, who has consistently claimed that both Davis and Lomachenko have been dodging him with the theoretical obstacles removed. Floyd Mayweather was important in shaping much of the Tank. Davis's career previous to their dramatic separation showcased the two fighters as the best talents in the category, both excelling for different reasons. Mayweather mentioned that there are fighters in the weight classes between 130, 135, and 160, emphasizing that this area is particularly competitive. He noted that currently, Gervonta Davis is likely the hardest hitter at 35, while Shakur Stevenson is undoubtedly the most skilled fighter in that weight class. Davis, however, will undoubtedly be the most skilled fighter at 135. Shakur Stevens Davis has defeated all but two opponents within the distance, displaying some of the sport's most precisely timed and deadly power punches. In contrast, Stevenson, with a knockout-to-win ratio of only 45%, boasts the sport's finest defense, as proven by the statistics. When questioned if possessing the required talents would be sufficient to defeat opponents, Mayweather said in the affirmative. Mayweather emphasized that boxing is primarily about abilities, citing Pernell Whitaker as an example. Whitaker, while not being a tremendous puncher, was very exciting, difficult, and battled everyone. Mayweather remarked that Shakur Stevenson is trying to follow the same route by seeking to face the greatest opponents available. He highlighted that Stevenson's contract is nearing the conclusion and expressed hope that they may collaborate to elevate Stevenson to the next level with the desired matchups. All about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He wants to fight the best they have out there, and he's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he needs and wants, and make the fights happen. Stevenson's camp has engaged in conversations with Mayweather following the interview, while also examining offers from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. Meanwhile, with Davis linked with PBC, he may also be looking for prospects on that front. According to Tank's co-trainer Kenny Ellis, Shakur's fear is the only thing delaying the bout from happening next. It appears that the route is clear for Gervonta and Shakur to make an all-American lightweight unification battle. Devin Haney went to a higher weight class. Davis was upgraded to full WBA champion. He celebrated his new status with a convincing knockout. Victory over fellow southpaw Frank Martin marks a successful title defense. Stevenson competed for the vacant WBC title, first defeating Edwin de los Santos, and then successfully defending his belt against Artem Haratunen. Both victories were achieved with relative ease over the full rounds, though they drew some criticism for lacking excitement in response to his detractors. Shakur asserted that his finest performances would emerge when pitted against top-tier opponents. Adding to the simplicity of the situation, Stevenson has transitioned into free agency after a lengthy tenure with a promotional powerhouse top-ranked although Bob Arum. The company's head may not be directly involved in orchestrating events now. He foresaw this fight earlier in the year. Not only does he think Stevenson defeats Davis, but Lomachenko and Teop Lopez also share Arum-told boxing scene. Tank Davis is an excellent fighter and a big attraction, so sure, we'd like to match Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Lopez against Tank Davis and see how well they do. I like our guys to win the fight. All three would beat Davis. I really believe that, but that's why they do the fights right again. We're open to any of it. In the last 2 years, boxing fans have enjoyed numerous high-profile, fights, largely due to Saudi Arabia's significant involvement in the sport. The next anticipated Ellis highlighted that Stevenson is no longer bound to Bob Arum, implying that the sole impediment to the bout would be fear, he added. Shakur stated he would like the fight in November with Tank. So let's see how bad he wants it now that he's no longer with Bob Arum. So let's see, the only thing that can stop that fight is fear. So we'll see recently. Josh Dubin, who co-manages Stevenson, shared a similar viewpoint regarding a prospective battle. He underlined that Stevenson and his team were prepared to fight any opponent who came their way. He went on to say that it's all up to Tank. Dubin continued, "We're here and we're ready to negotiate. But considering that it's such a significant fight with a lot on the line, fans can rest easy only until the deal has been completed." Eddie Hearn anticipates that Dante Davis and Shakur Stevenson will agree to a unification lightweight title fight after the 27-year-old Stevenson ended his contract with Top Rank and became a free agent. Hearn has been in fierce rivalry with the world's leading promoters to secure his signature. Davis was prepared for a fight with fellow 135 pounds champion Lomachenko, but the Ukrainian backed out of talks. A meeting between the 29-year-old Davis and Stevenson is gathering enormous interest, and Hearn believes it's a real possibility. Hearn said IFL TV that he wouldn't be surprised to see a battle between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, because situations and circumstances play a key part. He also mentioned that Tank Davis was deeply involved in a hypothetical bout with Vasily Lomachenko. But if that fight doesn't happen, Davis will be placed in a difficult situation. Hearn noted that Shakur Stevenson is a free agent and ready to strike a deal, so the time is right for this prospective showdown. To face Boom Shakur is a free agent. He's ready to do a deal, and it just timing's everything. So I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't spoken to the guy since I saw him about a week ago. But maybe they're in discussions for that fight. If they are, and they haven't signed with PBC, I'd love to be a part of the team if they have good luck. Or maybe we'll work in the future. But since the WBC champion appeared at a Matchroom promotion earlier in July, Hearn and Stevenson have been. Hearn emphasized his willingness to work with Stevenson, but highlighted that it had to be advantageous for both parties. He reiterated his interest in being Stevenson's promoter, describing him as a terrific fighter. Jay Prince, I'm Josh Dubin, great team, like really honest conversation. And the conversation was, I would love to sign you, but I need to deliver the right fights for you. And if I can't deliver those fights for you, maybe I'm not the guy to be with, I think. Put words in the mouth. I think we all agree that with the right fight, I'm the right guy for the job. But I gotta deliver the right fights. And he'll be here Saturday, as do the rest of the world. And if we can work with Shakur. Calvin Ford, Devon Davis's trainer, has stated that if WBC lightweight champion Stevenson agrees, they will offer Shakur Stevenson a contract for their next fight. Ford wants the WB a lightweight champion Tank Davis to have this fight because he views Shakur, a resident of New Jersey, to be one of the main 4 fighters he wants for Tank. Some people believe that because